Hey everybody, Dave Clark, aka the Pattern Guy. Hey, we're up at the Foundry today. It's been a while since we've been up here. I've actually been up here, just haven't had the camera with me or anything like that. Sorry about that. I'll try to get you up here as much as I can. We're going to pour some bronze today. Going to pour the white pipes. Alright, so one of the things, it's kind of messy in here. We're still plumbing. Haven't got that done yet. I just got to get a couple castings done here. So you know, Blaine's, he's going on that molding machine. Hopefully he'll have that done in a little bit, but it's the thing with him too, where it's, he's doing it, you know, for me. He's doing it on his, you know, time off and that. So he works part-time, so he's been busy a lot. But anyhow, he's going to get that done. We got to get the plumbing done. Joe's going to hopefully come up later today to assess what he's going to need to put wiring in here, and hopefully he'll get going on that. We'll do a little segment on that for you guys too. So one of the things I started doing real quick was normally I'll come in here and I'll start working the sand, get the sand going, start making molds, and then once I get the molds all done, I'll charge the furnace and that. But as I said, it's a little messy in here today, so it's cleaning up a little bit. And I noticed over by the furnace. I'm sorry, we're over by the furnace. It's getting kind of grubby over here, so I cleaned it up a little bit. And that, you know, you got to take care of things. That's one of the biggest things. So there's a bunch of stuff in the furnace, like where, like if I'll put a larger piece in the crucible, it'll tip over and then it'll melt in the bottom. So there's a bunch of stuff in the bottom that I ended up cleaning out. And that every once in a while, if you've seen other videos where we'll take the crucible out and one of the blocks will be stuck to it. There's 3 blocks in there that we put the crucible on, that way the heat gets underneath the crucible. Okay, so put a couple new blocks in it. So what I'm doing today, we're going to do brass, like I said. So we're going to do the brass white pipes. One of the things I've heard a lot of backyard guys say, and I've said this before too, you know, they're not big into fluxing. Okay, huge flux. You got to do the fluxing. Like I said, I keep on telling you, I'm gonna get a link to the Foundry supply guy. Okay, so I called him about 2 weeks ago. He was supposed to email me and tell me how he wants to go about having a contact for you guys to get in contact with either him or his company. We're not sure yet. So he has yet to get back with me. I'll give him a buzz tomorrow and see what we can, so we can start putting a link up there, because these guys, this flux that he uses, try to get a close-up of it. You don't need much of it. Okay, so you need about a good tablespoon. Okay, a little bit more maybe. All right, and you know, for what I'm melting, around 60 pounds, 60, 70 pounds. Okay, and I put that in halfway, like when I have the crucible halfway full. All right, that this stuff, literally, he gave me this as a sample. Yeah, I've had this almost, well, not this particular thing. He gave me, I think it was like a little gallon can, but it was about halfway full, about half a gallon of this stuff, just to try out. I'm still using that. I did buy him, I bought a 5-gallon pail full of it. They sell it by the pound. I'm not sure how much, but that whole 5-gallon pail, I mean, I could barely lift it. It's got to be way over 60 pounds. It cost me 70 bucks maybe. That'll probably last me a couple of years, easy. You know, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think they do sell it in smaller batches. Okay, and the same thing with the aluminum. The aluminum flux I get from somebody else. I've just been so busy. I'll try to get their contact info. I know they'll go sell to smaller guys. They got 10-pound bags of it, and it's literally, it's like 60, 70 cents a pound or something, so you're going to be paying $7 for a bag. And, you know, backyard guys, that doesn't last you 2 years, I'd be surprised, you know, but it's very important that you do this. I have saved, I told you in the beginning, I weigh my metal, right? So what I do is I weigh it before I put it in, And then what I do is I weigh all the castings when I get out, plus the gating, plus, you know, we'll make ingots too, right? So all that gets weighed. So when I was first doing this with the bronze, I would literally, I'd be minus, you know, 4 or 5 pounds, about 5 pounds I'd be minus. You know, I'd melt 60 pounds, I'd have 55 pounds of good metal that I poured in. All the rest I was skimming off the top. So there was, you know, I was losing 5 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds per melt. Now I'm going 1.5 to 2, if that, you know. So, and it's, you know, before you could see chunks of bronze or brass in there. Now it's just all powder, you know. So this stuff is unbelievable. And then the thing also is I machine a lot of the castings that I make too, and I've noticed a considerable difference with the metal quality too. You know, I'd run into some porosity, not too bad. We were still getting good castings. I just have a little bit of porosity, but since I've been using this, I have not machined one of my castings that I've cast here that's had any porosity in it so far. Knock on wood, I haven't had a issue with any of my customers. None of my customers called me and said, hey look, this is a garbage casing, it's full of porosity. Alright, so I'm going to pick you guys up and I'll show you where I'm at here. And then once I get set up to making some molds, I'll get some sand ready. I'll show some molding real quick. And then, you know, we'll do some pouring. Alright, hang tight guys. Okay, here, let me pick you up. So there's what I got in here so far. Alright, you can see the flux on there. Those are some scrap castings there that I did. That's what we're casting today. Now here's what I got from my one buddy, the one scrap yard I usually go to. Alright, so we'll put that in there. And I think I'm going to put the rest of those in there, and then we're going to call this a melt here. Alright, so let me get some sand going, and then we'll go from here, guys. Okay, guys, we're doing a little bit of molding up. I know you've seen me do this numerous times now, but for the guys that haven't, basically, grab my gloves. I was like using gloves on here. Okay, so guys that haven't seen me ramp stuff up before, you know, we always do the drag first. Okay, pins are down. Okay, and the reason we do pins down first is when you do the drag first, what happens is we do the drag, we're going to flip this. Okay, we're going to put a bottom board on here, we're going to flip it, ram the cope up, and then we're going to pull the cope half off, set it aside, and then pull the pattern off the drag half. We don't have to flip it twice. If I did the cope half, you know, I'd have to ram the cope half up, flip it, ram the drag half up, and then we're going to have to flip it again, right? So that's why we do the drag side first, okay? So what I'm doing, get the sieve out, and then I got what I've been doing. I've been watching a couple like professional guys doing this a little bit different. I don't have a sand system, so basically, you know, what I do is I sieve. What I was doing before was I was actually filling up 5-gallon buckets full of sand right out of the muller and just, you know, heft them over here. So what I'm doing now, I'm just doing 1 5-gallon in a bucket. That way I can lift that one over here. And then instead of keep on lifting the heavy buckets, I just dump the sand right out of the muller and I get it over here by shovelfuls. So I'm going to grab a shovelful here, plop a shovelful in, and where I'm working right now, off subject here, I'm in Cleveland. I'm in, actually the building that I'm in used to be an old brewery. There was a whole bunch of buildings here, and there was some buildings across the street. The buildings across the street are gone. But they used to call this Brewery Row back here. But I got, I'm not sure I'm going to melt and pour today. I might leave that till Sunday. It's kind of getting late, so I don't know if I'm going to hang around that late or not. I might just make up all the molds and pour another time. But if you've seen before, I got the furnace underneath the hood, and the hood goes outside. I got a couple fans. Well, I got the door open for the fans right now. I just don't have mine because it's finally cooling down here a little bit. And I can smell somebody's cooking something out there. It's not smelling too bad. So it's starting to make me hungry. So that's kind of funny. It's we're in an industrial area. However, there's a church right behind. There's like an alleyway behind here, and there's a church, and I believe they have some refugees staying there. So they're smells like they're cooking something good. I tell you, it smells really good. So I hope I don't. Maybe I shouldn't light up the furnace, and then I'll get all this crappy smell over while they're eating dinner, you know. So this way is way easier instead of you know, keeping on getting buckets full. It's way less strain on the back, you know. So I'm liking it that way. I was actually watching a video. If I can find it again, I'll do the link of it. You know, if you've seen other videos, actually, you know, Blaine keeps on. He's a busy guy. I was just telling you before. He should be wrapping up the molding machine any day now, you know, but I got a lot of work to do down here. It's funny because there are a couple videos out there with that particular molding machine, Osborne 275J, I believe it's called. So I watched a couple videos on that, and it's, you know, I watched some guy doing it this way, although I don't have the molding machine yet, but you know, we'll get it. We'll get it. He's getting it. But Blaine's doing he won't let me see it. I've seen a couple pictures, but he showed me a couple pictures. He wants to surprise me. In knowing Blaine, I tell you what, Blaine, he goes above and beyond all the time. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. I guarantee you, he's doing an unbelievable job on this. So I'm kind of getting a little anxious to see it here, you know, and that. But well, it'll be worth it. I'll tell you when we get it there. So, and then like I said too, I gotta get stuff ready down here too for it. So it's not. All right, so there's a drag half. Get a bottom board. I actually made these bottom boards. I usually don't round the corners off on that, and I made these. What I tried to do with these, I tried to clamp these to get more pressure on it, but that didn't work. So I'm just going back to the old way. I've been having a hard time with these Y pipes. I'm probably scrapping half of them out. One of the things I found too was the pins on these are way short too, so that's probably an issue also. So that's something I got to look into. See if I can come up with some pins here. You know, the company still sells these things, so we got to look into it. It's just all the other stuff I got to do too. So get the old parting compound out, and like I said, a lot of guys will do this. They'll blow it out, and then you're blowing all your parting compound out. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a little bit of facing sand. Get this a little bit closer to myself here. I'm a little on the short side, so get some facing sand in here. Now with this one, put a sprue in, and then I'll show you when we demold this. I ended up, I'm using the runners as risers on this because there's 32 patterns on this, okay? So I'm using the runners, risers, so the runners are in the cope instead of the drag. So at the end of it, what I did, and I'll show you this, I just get a couple little pieces of 3/8 dowel and use them. It's kind of like a thing they call pop off, and it lets the gases out and lets the gas and it vents it a little bit. I normally don't run, like you see a lot of guys, they'll poke holes in the molds and stuff. Yeah, I don't do that because you know, most of the foundries I've ever been in, you know, I never see anybody do it. And I remember we did it in high school when we did shop in high school. I've never done it, but you got the risers and everything. It's letting the gas out. So I think you do it that way, it should be good. I haven't had any issues yet, so, and I have actually run jobs too where I don't have risers, I just have a sprue, that's it, and I still have yet to have any issues, you know, so. I think in cast iron it's a lot different. I know a lot of guys will vent the cast iron, but for the aluminum, when I worked at Arrow, we absolutely, I never once seen a molder, you know, make vent holes. So I'm gonna finish this one up, guys. I'm gonna turn around, show you the mold, and then, like I said, it's getting late. I'm not 100% sure. I might just leave pouring until Sunday, and then I'll bring you back down and we'll show you some pouring. I think Joe said he'll come down with me too, so that way we'll get some good photos of the pour in that. So I think it's a good thing. I'm just going to make all the molds today, and then we'll pour. So when I get this one molded up, I'll split it. We'll show you. All right. Okay, guys, got this one molded up. I'm going to come grab you. Check it out. Okay. Okay, there you go. There's a drag half. There's your sprue bowl, your part of a runner, and then up in the drag we got these runners here, and that's my in gate, right? And then these little parts in between, you can see they're not up here, okay? That riser goes right over the top of this here, and that's the in gates there. Okay, so that's those. We got 32 on, and like I said, we'll probably pour these on Sunday. But it's getting a little late here, guys, so, you know, sorry, I know you guys like to watch that molten metal. Who doesn't? That's the cool thing. I've been in this business for quite a long time, and it's still, I think it's still cool. So anyhow, we got these done. Like I said, for sure I'll bring you up Sunday because Joe's supposed to come too. So with him here, I think we can get some better camera shots too. It's just most of the time I'm by myself up here. So anyhow, there's a little bit of foundry work on. I'll get this to Joe, get it out to you guys, and then Sunday, like I said, we'll do some pouring. I also want to, what I'll do, I'll pour these in bronze, and then they'll be ready right away, right? So I can go ahead and start pouring, and then what I want to do is I want to start getting going on those aluminum handles, so I'll show you how I do those things too. So that one's all ready to go, mounted, gated. We've made a couple samples on it already. Customers okaying them, so I said go ahead and make 300. So we'll make 300 of those, and we're going to do them in batches of 50 every couple months. It's a 1 year purchase order, so I got to get the 300 done in a year or so. That'll be good. We're supposed to get a bunch of other castings also, so we get going on those guys. So anyhow, I thought I'd bring you up here today just for giggles. I haven't seen you guys for a little bit, so anyhow, that's it for today. Please subscribe if you haven't. Tell me about our, tell your buddies about me. Screw that one up every single time. Tell your friends about me. See if we can get those guys to start subscribing. Maybe we can teach them something too. And with that, have a good one out there. Everybody stay safe.